What's good, everyone? It's your boy, Goku Black What Ifs, or Blackbeard What Ifs, or whatever y'all want to call me. But it's your boy. I'm back. Told you guys I would be coming back. Well, I already did with my last video, but I'm I'm here with part 4 of, you guys already know it, What If Deku was Carnage. Hope y'all are ready for some fun, because I got some good stuff in for y'all. Like, oh my lord, I got some stuff. Like, oh my god, y'all be surprised. But just for a quick recap, hopefully y'all remember what happened last video. But if you don't, let me explain it to you like this. Last video, Deku, or Midoriya, Izuku, whatever y'all want to call him. But me personally, it's easier to just say Izuku or Deku. But Deku, he goes, or like Deku feels this suspicious aura in a sense. He goes to a warehouse. In the warehouse, he ends up running into the one, the only god of symbiote himself, Null. And when he meets him, at first Deku willing to throw hands, but then he's like, wait, nah, this ain't the guy I'm supposed to be throwing hands with. Let me not do that. So he doesn't. But then afterward, he's like, actually, wait, hold up. I'm going to fight you. I don't care. So Null's like, all right, okay, you cool. Here's this sword, by the way. So they talk and stuff. When Deku gets out of, when Deku and Null stop talking, Deku leaves the warehouse. He finds out it's nighttime. He's been gone for the whole day. He gets an earful from everyone. When he gets home, or when he gets back to the League of Villains lair, he gets an earful from everyone. Stain trains him, female Stain. She trains him. He's now a little bit better with the sword. He's not using it yet, but he's getting better with the sword. He goes out to train some more. Ends up running into Ingenium. Tenya Ida, the female one. Her older sister. He basically kills her. Brutally, brutal. Ripped this girl into pieces. Put a message on the wall and everything. Took the rest of her body and dipped. Then on the day of the trying to remember, UA sports exam or sports festival, I think that was it, something like that. Can't fully remember the name. But on that day, I kid y'all not, right as they're about to give out the medals to the winners, my boy Deku come dropping in. He come in like a comet. He laughing and everything. He drops in. They looking at him like, what you doing here? All this man does is he holds up the lifeless body of Ingenium as he drops her on the ground and just starts kicking her just because. No reason. He just wants to. So Tenya gets mad. She jumps down, tries to throw a kick at him. Bro, this man transforms, grabs her leg, and just tosses her. He said, get your ass up out of here. He tossed her. That girl got sent. Everyone else, they try to jump down and try to attack him. He gets to whoop it on them. He beat the hell out of him. Him with a whoop, whoop, wow. Transformed to this new, different transformation. Bro, he grabbed, his arm stretched out as he grabbed someone from Class 1B. You guys know the dude with green skin and blades and stuff. Looks kind of like a Pokemon. I hope you guys know who I'm talking about. But he looks kind of like Scyther, if that's how you pronounce the Pokemon. I can't fully remember, but that kind of guy, him, or her, I guess, in this world, she gets grabbed, she gets ripped in half, she dead as hell, she gone. Her soul has been lifted to the upper room. She is not in this plane of existence no more. He drops her body. He's like, all right, come at me. And then he proceeds to beat the piss out of everyone in his path. I'm talking, he gets to wailing on them. He grabbed Bakugo, threw her against the wall, grabbed her, and did a full-on DBS Broly move and just started sliding her fucking face across the wall. Gave that bitch a scar across her shit. He fucked her up. It's sad. Bro, All Might came in. All Might proceeded to get kicked right back out. Endeavor came in. Endeavor got a fucking like scar across her stomach because no, he slashed her. Bro, everyone kept pulling up and they kept getting stomped. Okay, like he did all that. He did a scream and then he dipped. Like he came back. He's like, "All right, yeah, what's up, y'all?" Everyone's like everyone at the League of Villains hideout. They're like, "How the fuck? How are you not dead yet, bro?" As this man's just like, I don't know. I'm just overpowered. I'm just built different. This dude is like my boy Deku. He completely annihilated these jits. Like annihilated them with this new transformation. And to be honest, I don't know if y'all like the transformation or not. So I'm not exactly gonna use it until y'all exactly want me to. So like if y'all like it, let me know. If not, well then I don't know. So just tell me, because like I legit don't know, guys. So till then, I'm not going to show it unless you guys really like it. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, look back at part 3 and you'll see the transformation I was talking about, Spiral into Insanity. I personally liked it, but I don't know. No, I still want my viewers to like my videos. So like, yeah. And by the way, guys, just quick heads up. If I say anything that offends you, just leave. Just leave. Because knowing how I am, I'm either not really going to care, not really going to say sorry, or overall, I'm just going to move on. Because that I'm sorry, that's just me. I offend people, but please, my viewers, I hope you guys already know, I naturally offend people on the daily. So like, kindly do. I don't exactly mean anything by it. If I say something and it hits whatever group or whatever thing you're into, then I'm sorry. That's tough. All I can say is move on. Like for instance, I'm just gonna say it now. Luffy is stomping out Naruto. Y'all can fight me in the comments, but after seeing these new chapters of One Piece, hey, Naruto is getting his he's getting his shit stomped. I don't care, Baryon mode or not. He's getting stomped out. Like, bro, you're literally fighting an immortal cartoon. Like, you're screwed. That's it. Your story's over, Naruto. Naruto, Boruto, yeah, that whole universe, yeah, all that shit getting sent to the trash. Y'all getting stomped. But moving on past that, moving to the actual video. So after Deku came back, and they all talked with him about his new powers and everything, he went to bed. He went to sleep. He's just kind of knocked out. So he wakes up after like a good couple hours later, wakes up, he gets up, he's like, all right, let me go train a little. He goes out and he throwing punches, just hitting a dummy, throwing punches, training his body, of course, doing some push-ups, doing some calisthenics, yoga and some more shit. Like, he doing that good training regimen. Like, y'all know, he's doing it. But basically, he, afterwards, he, like, all right, now let me try something. As Deku would hold out his hand, or he would hold out his arm, as his arm would kind of transform, get red and all that, turn to Carnage's arm or whatever. Claw type arm, I don't quite know what they'll call it. But basically, what he does is afterwards, my boy Deku, he's like, all right, now the arm's transformed, maybe I can do this, as he's kind of like grasping something in his hand, but not really. Like, he has his hand in like a grasping motion, like he's grabbing, but there's nothing in his hand. As all of a sudden, something starts manifesting into his hand. It starts, kind of coming, manifesting. As Deku would swing and a sword would appear. This, of course, being, the Necro Sword. I'm just saying it now, the Necro Sword. That shit kind of slaps. I'll try and find a better image for y'all afterward, but for now, yeah, y'all just gonna have to deal with this. But basically, with the Necro Sword, he's swinging it around, he's slashing, stabbing. He's like, okay, this is pretty good. Now I wonder, is there anything I can kind of do to enhance it? As you know, he's just slashing, sliding, trying things. He's like, oh, maybe I can do this. As you know, he would turn his arm into like a tendril as he just swings it as like he's basically doing this shit like I don't know if y'all have seen that episode, but like that episode where Luffy has a katana and he's just stretching and slashing. Like basically, my boy Deku doing it like that. Like he's doing it like that. He's swinging it around. He's slashing, and he gets into a stance, and he's like, "Okay, let me see if I can do this." Ominous Nebula, as Deku starts like his arm turns into a tendril while he's holding the blade, and he just starts swinging. And he's swinging it so fast and so quickly that you can't even see the arm anymore. He's just in a stance as you can't even like tell that there's anything around him, but all the stuff in the training room is getting pulled closer and closer to him. It's getting pulled more and more, like faster and faster, it's coming to him. And once it gets within like a certain area, the training dummy will just get shredded. It's just gone. Like it gets absolutely deleted. Like what what training dummy? All I see is particles. Like that stuff is gone. But what ends up happening? Like Deku stops and he's like, okay, seems like that power is actually very strong. Let me see if I can hold off on that for a little bit. So he's like, okay, like no, he's like, all right. So it seems like I got a pretty good hang of the blade. Now, is there anything I could do with myself? As like, Deku would make the blade disappear. And he's like, all right, is there any new abilities I can try and do? As he turns his hand to a blade, he's like, okay, I've done that before. He's like, he turns his hands into claws. He's like, okay, I've done that. Turns him into a spike ball. He's like, yep, done that. Like he keeps transforming his arms into different things. And he's like, okay, I've done this. Now, what else can I do? As he's like, maybe I can do something like this. As he would transform his arm into these giant red wings. Kind of like what's the word? Wyvern or something like that. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. That mythical dragon-like creature that doesn't have arms. It just has two big-ass wings. Yeah, that. He transforms his arms into two big wings as he would flap up, and he's like, whoa, okay, let me stop before I hit the ceiling. As he would drop back down and transform his arms back. As he turns around, he's like, well, that was actually pretty cool. And he looks up and he sees not only Stain, Shigaraki and Toga there, but he also sees Gecko, he also sees Sami, Koda, and Tokoyami. All three of them, they're all there. And they're just sitting there in amazement, like, wow, I didn't think you could do anything like that. And he's like, I didn't either, which is why I find this very cool. Maybe we can make like a group attack together. As they're like, yeah, maybe, just maybe. As he's like, yeah, but hold on, guys. Wait, guys, maybe we should try something. As they're like, well, what exactly do you have in mind? As he's like, well, why don't we make a like huge attack that involves my sword, Tokoyami's darkness, Koda's water, and Sami's fire. And they're like, well, we could see it, they would have Kurogiri bring in another testing dummy. And he's like, okay, well, let's give it a shot. As Deku would pull out the sword again. As he would, turn his arm into a tendril, like turn it into like a whip holding the blade. He's like, okay. Sami, light it up. As Sami would set the blade on fire. He would shoot fire at it and the sword would be on fire. As he's like, okay, Tokoyami, now. As Tokoyami would shoot, I'll just say it now. Tokoyami's power has evolved. It went from dark shadow to now shadow manipulation. Not nothing too overpowered like Sung Jin Woo or anything like that, but take Shikamaru and add some extra abilities to that. Like, you know, he has some other shit he can do, not just shadow paralyzation, because that, as strong as that is, it's also very fucking stupid. Because, like, now, what if you're fighting someone that's also using a puppet? Now what? Because now Mans could just be like, okay, keep the puppet. Alright, you can have my puppet. Now I'm about to just pull up with another one and rock your shit. Like, then what? But I basically gave Tokuyami he can, like, shoot darkness or, like, dark energy at people. Because why not? But he would shoot that at someone, or like he would shoot that at Deku's sword, as the flames on Deku's sword would turn black from the darkness. He's like, this could actually really come in handy. So he's like, okay, now, Koda, shoot some water at it or something. As Koda would shoot water at the blade, as it would put out the fire, but then again, it would turn into like a black haze or a black smoke around the blade, but it's very hot to the touch. As he's like, this is very hot, actually. Now let's see what I can do with it. As Deku would get into a stance, and he's like, dark sun, burning eclipse. As he would basically do the same thing as the ominous nebula, and he's pulling everything in, but instead of getting instantly shredded, they set on fire. They set on fire and they're burning while being shredded. So essentially, think of the most painful thing ever of getting cut over and over and over again into like molecules, and your molecules are getting cut over and over again, and now set them on fire, and that's what's happening to you. That's basically what the attack does to you instantly. And Deku would stop the blade, and he's like, it seems like we can really do some damage with this. As Deku would bring down the blade and like swing as it does like a flaming slash towards the wall, putting like a huge cut on the wall. As he's like, ooh, yeah, let me stop that, actually. As All For One. Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm making All For One nice in this world because, well, one, All For One isn't going to be a female. Going to be a male that was given All For One by the previous All For One. Kind of like how One For All gets passed down. All For One got passed down from a female to a dude, and now he's like, all right, then guess I'm in control. So this male All For One, he would have a TV come down from the ceiling. He's like, excellent. It seems like you are really getting stronger, Izuku. I can already see it now. You're going to be so strong. The world will be at your fingertips when all of this is over. As he's like, yes, master, it will be. But only with you helping me. Only because you chose to help me did I reach this peak of strength and power. So I thank you for this. As All For One's like, yes, I know. But thank you, Midoriya, because you turned us into a family. We were very distant from one another till you came, especially with your 3 kids. As he's like, yeah, I know. But All For One's like, okay, but what I came here to talk to you guys about was a new problem emerges, to say the least. As Deku's like, oh, really? What's the problem? As he's like, well, not really a problem, but call it a plan, if you would. So, our plan is to get rid of a few heroes. But at the same time, we're also going to need to get rid of a few UA students as well. As Deku's like, all right, leave it to me. I'll do it. As he's like, oh, no. It's not just going to be you. It's going to be you, Stain, and your 3 kids helping you along. Well, actually, let's leave Sami and Koda out of this. Just take Tokuyami with you for this one. We're going to need shadows. The plan is to happen at night. I'll send you the rest of the details. As he's like, okay then, well, we can do this. As no, Deku would go and he's like, come on guys, let's go do this. As Stain was like, yeah. As no Stain, she would turn and be like, okay, come on, Tokiyami. As Tokiyami, he would run. He's like, all right, I'll see y'all later, guys. And no, he's walking off and everything. So, no, he's just going. That's it. He's not really doing much. He's just going. And they're all on the rooftops and everything, going from building to building. As immediately Deku gets a thought and he's like, hold on, guys, why don't we all have a cool, like, seeing how me and my 3 kids had something, why don't us 3 have something? As Stan's like, well, what do you think we could do? As he's like, as Deku's like, well, considering I can change my body into many different things, why don't I try turning into some type of animal? And Tokiyami, you can help me spit that flame or that fire or just darkness at someone. And Stain, you can just be our little, what's the word? Shinobi, if you would. Stain's like, well, I don't mind. What do you have? What do you have to, like, what's the plan? As he's like, oh, we'll worry about that in a minute. First, let's go to start this. So, in case you guys haven't realized what their plan is, basically the Hosu incident, but a lot worse. A lot more casualties. And a lot more issues coming along the way. So, basically, what happens is, basically what ends up happening is, they're standing, 3 of them are 3 main villains for this episode, I guess. They're standing on top of a building as they're like, okay, Kurogiri, are you ready? As he's like, yes, I am ready. As they say, okay, open the gates. Let hell come on Earth. Or come to Earth. As he's like, all right. And all you can hear in Hosu is just nothing but just roars from different monsters. And just a heads up, these Nomu are not as strong as the USJ Nomu, but they have something on them or something with them that kind of boosts them a little bit. So, all these Nomu, they're coming out and they're all just destroying and causing havoc and actually killing civilians this time. So the heroes, they're coming, they're dealing with the Nomu. As Deku would look towards Stain and he's like, you know what to do. Go and deal with Native. Hopefully we can lure in our prize from there. As they're like, okay, well, what is it? Or like, Tokiyami's like, well, what's the prize? And he's like, oh, you'll see in a minute. As Deku would lift up his hand, he's like, thanks to the new gift that Master gave me before this, I think we'll have a lot of fun dealing with these heroes. And he's like, well, what exactly did he give you? As he's like, oh, something strong and something very bright, to say the least, my child. But for now, let's go deliver judgment upon these heroes. Let's bring chaos. Let's bring disorder. As he would transform and put one knee on top of the edge of the building as he just screams, let there be carnage. As he would just jump off and turn his arms into wings. As Tokiyami would leap off and hop onto his back. As Deku would turn himself into, well, a wyvern. Like I said, tail and everything. As he would just be flying around at night. Considering he's red and black, it's a little hard to see him at night. So especially when he's in the sky. So he's looking down upon all the heroes as Tokiyami is shooting fire. Not fire, like energy blasts, if you could call them that. He's shooting like little energy blasts at them. As he's just laying everyone out. Well, not really laying them out, but like those little cannon fodder heroes, yeah, some of them are getting killed. Like one hero, oh yeah, she gets her whole upper half blown off. Like, it's not erased, blown off. No. Think of it like someone cut a hole in someone and then just stuck a grenade in their stomach and then pulled the pin out. That type of explosion. Like, no, there's guts and eyes everywhere. She dead. She dead as hell. But, no, Deku, he's moving around. He's like, okay, hopefully we can find our target from here. As he's moving around, as he's moving around, Tokiyami's with him, and Tokiyami's like, okay, hopefully we can do this. As he's like, yeah, I know we can. So he's like, all right, so there it is. As he sees Stain fighting with Ida. I want to say Izumi or Izuka, but I can't fully remember if Deku had a sister or not. So if I forgot, please, I'm sorry. I only looked back at part 3 to see what that was. I low-key can't remember. I'll look back at part 1 to see if I'm wrong, and if I am wrong, I'll put in the description, or like I'll put in the next video stating that I was wrong. But basically, no, Stain would be fighting Ida, Izumi, and 2 other girls, Shoka, Todoroki, and Katsumi Bakugo. Yeah, he's boxing with them. He's throwing hands with them too. And Stain is throwing hands with those 2 as well. As, Deku's flying and he's like, all right, Tokiyami, drop down and I want you to deal with Bakugo. She should give a good challenge for you, considering all of your powers would involve shadows, and she is a very fiery person, very bright. So deal with her. As he's like, as Tokiyami's like, okay, father, and just takes a step off of Izuku's back and just goes straight down. Like, he makes a dust cloud and everything when he lands, and Bakugo's like, what? Who's there? And immediately gets just socked in the stomach and sent back. So Bakugo like gets hit back because he's like, come here, Bakugo. And just like, he's on her ass. Like, he is on her. He's like, get over here, girl. Like, she dodging and shit. He like, nah, bring that ass here. And like, he grabs her by the leg, slams her into a wall. And then he's like, nah, get over here. And like, he transforms his arm into like a huge gauntlet and just hits her once again in the stomach. Then he grabs her by her hero suit and then just throws her back again. So, like, she's over here like, damn. Get over here. As, she's shooting attacks at him left, right, and center. I'm not giving her any of the attacks that she knows later on in the show. Not yet, anyway. But basically, what ends up happening is, like, they're throwing hands, and for the most part, it seems like they're equal, like they're on equal footing. As Deku's like, okay, now maybe I should go and deal with the fire one. As Deku would kind of turn like a plane. Like, he would turn himself like a plane and start heading down as he would transform his arms back. And then he would literally just do like a full-on Peregrine Falcon dive. Like, he's coming in like a bullet. And right as he's getting like there with, right as he's getting by Endeavor, he would just flip his body and like have his feet pointed towards her and just drop kick her straight into the fucking dirt. Like, he just boom and hits her straight into the ground. As he lands on his feet and she's getting up, she's like, you again. And no, she's shooting fire attacks at him and he's dodging and weaving. He's like, bitch, whoop, whoop, missed. Ooh, miss me, bitch. And just like clocks her in the face. And for the most part, it's almost sad watching this fight go down because it's just like, damn. She ain't doing shit against him. And like this is being broadcasted. Like this is live. So the rest of Class 1A, they see this whole ass whooping going down. And the fight with Stain and them is getting brought into the streets where everyone can see it now, not in the alleyway. So Stain is actually doing pretty good against 3 students. I mean, she already kind of was, but yeah. Like in the main show he was, but she in this world, she's doing good against them. And she's like, nah, I'm gonna kill y'all. I don't care anymore. So no, she's swinging her blade and everything. As immediately, Deku is fighting Endeavor. Stain is fighting the trio, Ida, Shoka, and Izumi. And Tokiyami's fighting Bakugo. And like everyone can see all 3 fights going down. And it gets to a point where Deku's like, all right, maybe I should end this pretty quickly. As Deku would start creating, what's the word? Like he would start creating, his hand would start rapidly vibrating. Now you all might know this person's quirk, considering they're from a whole other school, but they fought Class 1A. For a hint, this guy looks a lot like Deku, so people thought they were siblings at first, or, jokingly thought they were siblings. And yeah, his quirk allows him to vibrate shit. So Deku's like, he's like, luckily Master stole this quirk off of that stupid kid I killed. As Deku would start vibrating, like his whole arms, like both of his arms start vibrating rapidly, like very strong, a lot stronger than that kid's quirk. As he digs both of his hands into the ground and starts shaking the whole fucking city. Like it's almost like an earthquake happened, because he is shaking this whole city. Like all of Hosu, yeah, all that shit is shaking rapidly. As he's like, oh, don't worry, I have a whole lot of fun for you guys. As he just he transforms, does his full transformation. And then he has all his, he has tendrils come out, and he has those tendrils sticking to the buildings and the floor and everything around him. And then he just starts shaking it even more. So now some of the buildings are collapsing. And with every building that his tendrils are connected to, when they collapse, Deku takes a piece of the building and just smacks Endeavor with it. Like, she's getting pelted with concrete, rhubarb, pipes, and, other shit like that. Like, she's getting demolished. As Deku's like, well, I should probably end this quickly. That was enough havoc and fun for now. As he would, pull out, he would pull his hands out of the ground. He would pull his tendrils out of everything. As he would immediately just, he would basically flash step. I'm talking Ichigo flash step towards her. Towards Endeavor. And once she goes to throw a punch, he does, you guys knew that thing that Ichigo did when he was fighting Byakuya, where he just kept spamming the whole flash step? That's basically what he was doing. So Deku was just moving so fast that all she saw was different after images of him. And he's going all around her. Actually, he's going all around the whole fighting area. So all they see is nothing but just different versions of him everywhere. Just everywhere, it's just another after image. And he literally appears in front of Endeavor when she least expects it. He turns his hand into a hook type thing. He turns his hands into claws, drives them into Endeavor's stomach, and then starts vibrating. Starts vibrating so hard that he actually breaks some bones and ruptures he causes one of her kidneys to just straight up fucking explode. He ruptured that damn thing. Didn't cut it, didn't stab it. No. He caused it to just straight up explode due to all the shaking and everything. So he's breaking bones. He's causing organs to rupture. And literally, she's spitting up a whole lot of blood. As immediately he's like, okay, I think that's enough. Pulls out his claws and just full power, kicks this bitch into a wall. And she is out. She is out for the count. As Shoka, even though, still has a little bit of negative feelings towards Endeavor, she's like, Mom! and tries to shoot a fire attack at Deku. But the moment she reaches her hand out, immediately slash, and her hand just comes clean off. As she would just scream out in pain as Stain's like, "Your fight's with me, kid." As all of a sudden, Stain's arms and blade would just turn black. As she would just like do a slash and send a full-on scar. Kind of like Zoro's scar, but it's on Shoka from shoulder all the way to her waist, and just do a slash and send her flying back. As she would turn and just start wailing on the other two with her blades. And like it's damn near terrifying. And like she's doing all these attacks and everything, and like, hold on guys, give me a quick second. I need to look up the name of something. Alright, I'm back, sorry. But basically, what Stain would do is while Stain is like fighting while Stain's fighting Ida, Stain would reel her arm back as the blade, like her black blade, would get a red outline as she just says, "Flame rend," and just like full on pierces into Ida's like stomach. Like blade is going through her stomach as Ida spits up hella blood as Stain pulls out the blade and kicks Ida in the head, causing her to go unconscious. Now, Deku's the only one left standing. Well, other than Bakugo. So, Bakugo and Deku, they're next to each other as Stain would jump in the air as she would say two sword style. As she would just say Sorin, or she would say Paradise, Totsuka, and just send this huge X-shaped attack right at Bakugo and Deku. And immediately before it hits them, Endeavor would come out in front but get pushed back. Like Endeavor would come in front trying to protect the attack, but then all of a sudden they just hear a scream as they look in front and they see that Deku ended up Izumi. She ends up jumping in front of both of them and gets hit in the back, leaving a huge X-shaped scar on her back as she just falls to the ground with blood coming out of her mouth and her eyes are just white. She is knocked the fuck out. She gone. But she's like basically, once that happens, Stain would land to the ground as she says, I learned my fighting style from my master. Odin, may you rest in peace. As she puts both of her swords away and she starts running off as immediately, huge claws would grab her and grab Tokoyami and start flying off as Deku's just laughing because, he's standing on top of the flying Nomu. And the Nomu, he's laughing while he's on the Nomu and he's like, I'll see you heroes later. And like he's just letting off this sinister laugh that's just echoing. Like think of Doflamingo's laugh. He's just letting off that evil, just sinister laugh as he's just disappearing off into the night. And that's where I'm gonna end this video off. Now, if you guys know, because I did put 2 references to 2 anime in this video. Keep in mind, both of them were the names of attacks. So if you all know what I'm talking about, then hey, y'all some real ones. But you have to name what the power is, okay? Now heads up, or well technically 3. The name of a character, the name of and 2 names of different attacks from different anime. Now, hope you guys remember be sure to tell me in the comments what video they're from, or what episode or what series they're from. But I'll see you guys later. This is not Blackbeard What Ifs. This is Goku Black What Ifs signing off. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.